Do you ever sit in your living room and feel like something's just off? Not messy, not broken, just not right. You might be making one of these 10 common design mistakes that quietly make your home feel less cozy, less elegant, maybe even a little outdated. But here's the good news. Every single one has a simple fix. No big renovations, no expensive shopping trips. Just smart, easy changes that can instantly elevate your space. If your home deserves to feel warm, welcoming, and you stick around, you're about to see how small adjustments can make a big impact, especially after 60. As we get older, our homes become filled with memories, each item telling a story. But over time, those meaningful pieces can blend with clutter, outdated furniture, or mismatched decor that quietly drags the space down. Maybe it's a dark corner you've stopped noticing, or a pattern that once felt charming but now feels busy. It's not about having a fancy home. It's about creating a space that feels peaceful, welcoming, and true to you. Sometimes, all it takes is recognizing what no longer serves you and making small, thoughtful changes that restore comfort and calm. Today, we're going to walk through 10 common design mistakes that might be making your home feel dated, cluttered, or less inviting, without you even realizing it. These aren't big, expensive problems. In fact, most of them have simple, affordable fixes that you can do in a single afternoon. Whether it's lighting, furniture layout, or small decor choices, each tip is designed to help your home feel more open, calm, and beautiful, without losing the warmth and personality that makes it yours. If you're ready for a space that feels fresh and elevated, let's get started. 1. Overly dark curtains or heavy drapes. Fix. Replace with lighter, sheer options to brighten the space. Let's talk about one of the most overlooked design choices that can completely change the feel of a room: curtains. Heavy, dark drapes might have felt cozy and luxurious at one time, but over the years, they can start to weigh down a room, literally and emotionally. They block natural light, cast shadows across your space, and make everything feel more closed in than it really is. You might not even notice it anymore because you've grown used to it. But walk into that same room with fresh eyes, and it feels heavy, dim, and a little dated. The truth is, light is one of the most powerful tools in home design, especially as we get older. Natural light becomes even more important for our mood, for our energy, and yes, even for our eyesight. A dark curtain that blocks sunlight doesn't just make your space look smaller and older, it can subtly affect how you feel in that space day after day. Now, this doesn't mean you have to throw out every curtain and start over. The fix is much simpler and often much cheaper than that. Start by asking yourself a few questions. Do these curtains actually need to be this thick or dark? Are they blocking more light than they should? Do they reflect the feeling I want in this room? Light, peaceful, calm? If the answer is no, consider switching to lighter fabric, like linen, cotton, or sheers in neutral tones. These allow sunlight to filter in while still offering privacy. They instantly make a room feel airier, more spacious, and more welcoming. A soft white, warm beige, or even pale gray can add elegance without drawing too much attention. And if you're worried about privacy or keeping warmth in during winter, a layered approach works beautifully. Sheers for the day, and lighter blackout panels you can close at night if needed. This one change alone can lift the entire mood of a room. It's not just about design. It's about creating a space that supports how you want to feel. Every day, bright, open, peaceful. Sometimes we don't realize how much our environment is impacting our energy until we let the light back in, literally. I've heard from so many people, especially those over 60, who've lived with the same window treatments for decades. They'll say, "I never thought to change the curtains. I've had them since the kids were young." But when they finally do switch them out, the reaction is always the same. "I can't believe how much brighter everything feels." That's the power of a small change. You don't need a full renovation to refresh your home. Start with the curtains, let in more light, and see how much brighter your whole day becomes. 2. Mismatched furniture sets. Fix. Break up matchy-matchy sets with varied textures or tones. At some point, many of us were told that a proper living room or bedroom needed a matching furniture set. The same wood tone, the same fabric, the same design repeated across every piece: the coffee table, end tables, TV stand, even lamps. And for a long time, that was the standard of elegance. It felt neat, organized, and safe. But here's the thing, matchy-matchy furniture, especially in large doses, can actually make your home feel dated, generic, and even a little lifeless. Why? Because it leaves no room for personality, for contrast, or for the kind of layered comfort that makes a home feel lived in, but in the best possible way. And let's be honest, most of us didn't buy our furniture for aesthetics. We chose pieces that were practical, durable, or simply on sale. Over time, we added more of the same without questioning whether they still fit how we want to live now. But here's the exciting part. You don't need to toss out everything to update your space. You simply need to break up the set. Here's how to do it. Start small. Choose one piece to change or reposition. For example, if you have identical end tables on either side of the couch, try swapping one with a different piece from another room, a vintage stool, a plant stand, or even a stack of books. If your coffee table, TV stand, and bookcase are all the same dark wood, try painting or refinishing just one in a lighter tone to create contrast. Or soften the look by introducing a new texture. Add a wrought tin basket underneath, a linen runner on top, or a colorful throw nearby to break the repetition. The key is intentional variety. You want things to coordinate, not match. Think of it like getting dressed. You wouldn't wear a shirt, pants, and shoes all in the exact same shade of beige, right? You mix tones, textures, and accents to create balance and personality. Your home works the same way. And don't be afraid of mixing old with new. A sleek modern lamp next to an antique side table? Beautiful. A soft fabric chair next to a weathered wooden desk? Timeless. That kind of blend makes your space feel curated, like a reflection of your unique story, not a furniture showroom. What's more, mixing things up can breathe new life into the furniture you already own. A chair you barely noticed can become a highlight once it's paired with something different. A tired dresser might look totally fresh with new knobs and a mirror that doesn't match, but complements it in tone or shape. This change isn't just about looks. It's about letting go of the pressure to get it right and embracing a space that evolves with you. So often, we hold on to sets because they feel safe or because they represent a time when we invested in our homes and families. That's valid, but you can keep the sentiment while letting the space grow with you. Your home should reflect who you are today, not just who you were when the furniture was first bought. Breaking up a matching set doesn't mean breaking with tradition. It means giving yourself permission to create a space that feels lighter, fresher, and more you. Not everything has to match to make sense. Sometimes, the most beautiful rooms are the ones that feel a little imperfect, because that's where the life and warmth come in. Try it. Swap just one piece. Add a contrasting texture. Break one rule. You might be surprised how much more inviting and your space begins to feel. 3. Too many small knickknacks. Fix. Use trays or groupings to add intentionality. We all have them. Little objects that carry memories. A ceramic bird from a trip years ago. A figurine from a grandchild. A candle you were gifted and never lit. Over the years, these small items accumulate. Each one means something. But together, they can quickly overwhelm a room and make it feel cluttered, even chaotic. The problem isn't the knickknacks themselves, it's how they're displayed. When scattered across every surface, coffee tables, shelves, countertops, they lose their meaning. Instead of adding warmth or personality, they create visual noise. Your eye doesn't know where to land, and your home can start to feel smaller, busier, and less peaceful. This is especially true in later life. When we've gathered decades of meaningful objects, it's easy to feel like letting go or changing how we display things is somehow erasing the past. But that's not what we're doing here. We're not getting rid of your memories. We're helping them stand out. Here's the fix. Group intentionally. Instead of spreading things out, gather small items into collections. A beautiful tray on a coffee table can hold a candle, a framed photo, and a small keepsake. A shelf can become a mini gallery, with 3 or 4 carefully chosen pieces that complement each other in tone, shape, or meaning. This creates visual order, makes your space look thoughtfully styled, and gives your treasures room to breathe. Less is more. Choose what truly brings you joy or tells a story. If a piece has been on the shelf so long you don't even notice it anymore, ask yourself if it really needs to stay there. You can rotate items seasonally or store a few, and bring them out when you want to change. This keeps your space feeling fresh while honoring your personal history. Add balance. Pair small items with larger ones to avoid a cluttered look. A stack of books next to a single decorative bowl, or a small sculpture next to a tall vase, creates contrast and harmony. Think in terms of layers and height, not just filling empty space, but creating interest and flow. This isn't about making your home look like a magazine. It's about making it feel calm, welcoming, and yours. Curating your knickknacks allows you to highlight what matters most, rather than hiding it in plain sight. You're not erasing memories. You're honoring them by giving them the attention they deserve. So take a moment to look around. Are your treasures lost in the clutter? If so, bring them together. Group them with care. Let your space and your memories shine. For plastic or faux-looking flowers, fix. Use real greenery or higher quality faux plants. Flowers and greenery can bring so much life into a room. They add color, texture, and that feeling of freshness we all crave, especially in spaces we spend a lot of time in, like the living room, kitchen, or entryway. But here's the catch. If your flowers are made of stiff plastic, coated in dust, or unnaturally colored, they might be doing the opposite of what you intended. Instead of elevating your space, they could be quietly making it feel dated, cheap, or even forgotten. Now, let's be real, there's no shame in faux flowers. Not everyone wants or is able to maintain real plants. In fact, for many of us, the thought of watering and pruning is more stress than joy. The problem isn't fake plants. The problem is fake-looking plants. You've probably seen them, bright neon tulips that don't exist in nature, leaves with plastic seams, or arrangements that haven't moved in years and are wearing a thick coat of dust. Over time, we stop noticing them, but guests definitely do. And more importantly, you deserve a space that feels alive and intentional, not frozen in time. The fix? Thoughtful editing and simple upgrades. First, do an honest sweep. Walk around your home and look at every plant or flower with fresh eyes. Ask yourself, does this look realistic or obviously fake? Is it dusty, faded, or bent? Does it still bring me joy when I see it? If the answer is no to any of those, it's time to refresh. Option 1. Try real greenery. Don't worry, you don't need to become a plant expert overnight. Start small. A potted pothose or snake plant is incredibly low maintenance and adds vibrant green life to a space. A glass jar with cut eucalyptus or fresh herbs on the windowsill brings both scent and beauty. Even a simple vase of grocery store flowers, refreshed once a week, can uplift an entire room. These real touches connect you with nature, boost mood, and add subtle movement to your environment, which can be surprisingly energizing. Option 2. Upgrade your faux. If real plants aren't your thing, invest in higher quality faux greenery. Today's options are far better than what you'll find at a discount store. Look for natural textures, no shiny plastic. Slight imperfections, real leaves aren't perfect. Neutral, muted colors that resemble real-life tones. Place them thoughtfully, don't overcrowd. Treat them as decor, not filler. And remember to clean them regularly, a quick wipe or rinse every month keeps them fresh and believable. For many of us, faux flowers were a staple in our homes growing up. They represented beauty, effort, and care, something nice for guests to see. But times change, and so do our needs. Now, the goal is simplicity, serenity, and feeling good in your own space. Replacing those old plastic bouquets isn't about letting go of the past. It's about making room for what feels good now. Real or faux, greenery should breathe life into your home, not collect dust in a forgotten corner. You deserve a home that feels fresh and alive, just like you. So swap out the plastic roses for something real or real looking, and see how the energy in your room shifts. It's a small change with a surprisingly big impact. 5. Ignoring lighting layers. Fix. Add a floor lamp or under cabinet lighting for warmth. Lighting might be the most underestimated design tool in the home, especially as we get older. It's easy to assume that if a room has one ceiling light, that's enough. Flip the switch, the light comes on. Job done, right? But here's the truth, a single overhead light, no matter how bright, can actually make your space feel flat, cold, and even uncomfortable. It casts harsh shadows, washes out textures, and creates a sterile feeling, like you're in a waiting room, not a cozy home. That's where lighting layers come in. Lighting isn't just about visibility. It's about mood, comfort, and function. The right light can make your space feel warmer, more elegant, and far more inviting. And the best part? You don't need to hire an electrician or spend a fortune to fix this. Here's how to rethink your lighting in 3 simple layers. 1. Ambient lighting. This is your general lighting, usually a ceiling fixture. It gives the room its basic illumination. You already have this, but it shouldn't be the only light source in the room. 2. Task lighting. This is lighting with a purpose. Think of a reading lamp next to your favorite chair, a small lamp on the kitchen counter, or under cabinet lighting that brightens your workspace. These focused lights make everyday tasks easier and more comfortable, especially important as eyesight changes over time. Even adding a clip-on reading light by the bedside or a simple stick-on LED under a cabinet can make a world of difference. Suddenly, the space becomes more functional and more beautiful. 3. Accent lighting. This is where the magic happens. Accent lights add softness, warmth, and personality. It could be a floor lamp in the corner casting a gentle glow, a small table lamp that gives off a golden hue, even battery-operated candles or fairy lights tucked into a bookshelf can transform how a room feels. Here's the fix. Start by walking into your room at night. Turn off the overhead light. Now ask yourself, is there enough light to feel comfortable? Is it soft, warm, and relaxing, or too dim and shadowy? Do I feel invited to sit down and stay? If the answer is no, begin adding layers. A floor lamp is a great place to start. It fills vertical space, adds warmth, and immediately makes the room cozier. Then, think about function. Where do you read, cook, write, or unwind? Add lighting to support those areas. As we age, lighting becomes about more than just seeing clearly. It's about feeling safe, relaxed, and at home. Poor lighting can strain your eyes, affect your mood, and even your sleep. On the other hand, layered, intentional lighting can calm the nervous system, reduce stress, and create an atmosphere that nurtures you. Many older homes rely heavily on ceiling lights, because that's how things were built decades ago. But those spaces weren't designed with comfort in mind, especially not the kind of comfort that becomes more important as we move into a slower, more intentional pace of life. This fix isn't just about style, it's about quality of life. You deserve a home that wraps you in warmth at the end of the day. So pick up that lamp, install that strip of light under the cabinet, or swap that cold bulb for a soft, warm one. Small light, big shift. 6. Cluttered entryway. Fix. Add a simple mirror and a small basket to organize. They say first impressions matter, and that goes for your home, too. The entryway is the very first space you and your guests walk into, yet it's often the most overlooked. Shoes pile up, mail gets dropped, coats hang on doorknobs. Before you know it, your entrance feels more like a drop zone than a welcoming space. And here's the thing, even if the rest of your home is beautifully kept, a cluttered, chaotic entryway can quietly set the tone for stress. Every time you walk through the door, you're greeted by mess. It's a small detail, but one that carries a surprisingly big emotional weight. The good news? This is one of the easiest areas to refresh, and you don't need a complete renovation to do it. Start with 2 simple tools, a mirror and a basket. Why a mirror? Because it instantly opens up a small or dark entryway. It reflects light, creates the illusion of space, and adds a touch of elegance without trying too hard. More importantly, it gives you a final glance before heading out the door, a small boost of confidence as you step into your day. Why a basket? Because it's the easiest way to contain the clutter, whether it's shoes, gloves, dog leashes, or mail. A simple woven or decorative basket creates instant order. Everything is still within reach, but it's not spilling across the floor or stacked in random corners. If you have a small bench or console table, even better. Use it as a landing zone for keys, bags, or reusable grocery totes. Add a small tray or dish for keys and coins. Hang 1 or 2 simple hooks on the wall for your go-to jacket or tote bag. That's it. This setup doesn't just reduce clutter. It adds function and peace to your daily routine. Here's a step-by-step way to refresh your entryway today. Declutter. Remove everything from the space. Yes, everything. Start with a clean slate so you can see what truly belongs there. Sort smartly. Only keep what you actually use on a daily basis. One pair of shoes, one coat, one bag. The rest can live in a closet. Add your 2 anchors, a mirror on the wall, or even leaned against it if you're not hanging. A basket tucked under a table, bench, or by the wall for grab-and-go items. Add one touch of beauty, a small vase, a seasonal wreath, or a framed photo. One thing that brings a smile when you walk in. As we age, our homes should support simplicity, not create more friction. The entryway may seem like a small space, but it plays a big role in how we feel about coming home. And when we're in a season of life where energy matters, peace matters, clarity matters, little things like this add up. If your entryway has become a place of stress, you're not alone. But you also don't have to live with it. With a few intentional changes, like a mirror to reflect light, and a basket to hold the everyday chaos, you can create a space that welcomes you home with calm, order, and a little bit of joy. This isn't just about tidying up. It's about creating a soft landing at the end of each day and a confident send-off every time you walk out the door. 7. Outdated wall art or frames. Fix, swap for minimalist or meaningful art in modern frames. It happens slowly, almost without realizing it. A painting that once felt stylish starts to look dull. A wall collage of old frames collects dust. That once popular live, laugh, love sign now feels like it belongs in another decade. Over time, what once felt fresh can become outdated and even make your whole space feel older than it is. Here's the truth. Your wall art tells a story. It sets the mood of a room, influences how people feel when they walk in, and, most importantly, it reflects you. But when your artwork or picture frames haven't changed in years or decades, that story can start to feel stuck in the past, and you may not even notice it until one day you look up and think, why is that still there? This isn't about keeping up with trends or tossing out everything sentimental. It's about being intentional with what you choose to display and making sure your walls reflect the life you're living now, not just the life you lived 20 years ago. Here's the fix. 1. Start by editing. Take a slow walk through your home. Look at each wall, each frame, each piece of art. Ask yourself, does this still speak to me? Do I actually like looking at it? Is it adding to the room or just filling space? If something feels dated or out of place, don't be afraid to take it down. This step alone can instantly lighten a room. 2. Keep what matters most. Not everything has to go. If a piece is deeply sentimental, a child's drawing, a wedding photo, a painting from a loved one, consider reframing it in a clean, modern frame. You'd be amazed at how a fresh frame can completely transform a piece. Suddenly, it looks intentional and new, rather than something you just never got around to updating. 3. Add meaningful or minimalist art. You don't need to be an art collector to have beautiful, thoughtful walls. Try a simple black and white photograph of a favorite place, a calming abstract print in soft colors, a framed quote or poem that reflects who you are now. Even empty space, a single, well-placed piece can be far more impactful than a cluttered gallery wall. Look for clean lines, neutral or calming colors, and themes that bring you peace or joy. Your walls don't have to scream. They can whisper calm and confidence. 4. Consider placement and proportion. A large piece of outdated art can dominate a room in all the wrong ways. Instead, go for balance. A smaller, well-framed piece above a chair, a trio of prints down a hallway, a floating shelf with rotating seasonal artwork. Sometimes, removing just one oversized piece and replacing it with something simpler can breathe new life into the entire room. As we grow older, our tastes change, our stories evolve. Yet many of us keep the same art on our walls for decades, partly out of habit, partly because we don't want to seem ungrateful for a gift, or because it just never made it to the top of the to-do list. But your walls deserve to reflect your life now, not just who you were, but who you've become. A home that feels modern, fresh, and personal doesn't require a major investment, just thoughtful choices. And remember, updating your wall art doesn't mean erasing your history. It means framing it better, literally. By surrounding yourself with pieces that speak to you today, you create a space that supports who you are and how you want to feel. So take a fresh look around. What can you update, reframe, or let go of? A few small swaps might be all it takes to make your home feel brand new without changing anything else at all. 8. using cheap-looking rugs. Fix, layer rugs or find simple, textured ones in neutral tones. Rugs are one of those design elements that don't always get the attention they deserve, but they should. A rug isn't just something to walk on. It frames your space, defines the room, and quietly sets the tone for everything around it. When chosen well, it adds warmth, elegance, and comfort. But when a rug is too small, worn out, or made from low-quality materials, it can make an otherwise lovely room feel unfinished, or worse, cheap. And here's the truth many people don't realize. The wrong rug can drag down your entire space. Even if everything else looks great, you might think, it's just a rug, how important could it be? But especially as we age and spend more time at home, creating a space that feels grounded, intentional, and calming becomes essential. And a quality rug can do exactly that. The problem with cheap-looking rugs, it's not just about the price tag. Some inexpensive rugs can look fantastic. The issue is with rugs that are too small for the space, a common mistake. Made with shiny, synthetic fibers that reflect light oddly. Overly bold patterns that clash with your decor. Too thin, sliding around or curling at the corners. Worn out or stained from years of wear. These rugs can make a room feel visually noisy, unbalanced, or just tired, even if everything else in the room is in good shape. The fix: think texture, layering, and scale. 1. Go neutral, go textured. When in doubt, choose a rug in a neutral color, soft grays, warm beiges, gentle creams. Then, add interest through texture instead of loud patterns. A woven rug, a subtle jute, or a low-pile wool blend can add depth, without competing with the rest of your space. This creates a calm, inviting foundation that makes your furniture and decor shine. 2. Layer smartly. If replacing your current rug isn't in the budget, consider layering it over a larger, neutral base. For example, place a small vintage rug on top of a larger, inexpensive jute or sisal rug. This not only adds visual richness, but also helps fill the space better, one of the smartest tricks used by interior designers. 3. Mind the size. One of the biggest mistakes people make is using a rug that's too small for the room. A tiny rug floating under a coffee table makes everything feel disconnected. Instead, in living rooms, aim for a rug large enough that at least the front legs of all your furniture sit on it. In dining rooms, make sure the chairs can move without falling off the rug. In bedrooms, the rug should extend at least 2 feet beyond each side of the bed for comfort and proportion. Getting the size right instantly makes your space look more polished and intentional. For many of us, the rugs in our homes have been there for years, maybe even decades. They hold memories. Kids once played on them. Grandkids may still, but sometimes they've quietly outlived their purpose. And here's the thing. You deserve to live in a space that feels fresh, clean, and comforting now, not someday now. Choosing the right rug isn't about impressing anyone else. It's about how you feel when you walk into the room. Do your feet land on something soft and warm? Does the space feel grounded and inviting? Do you breathe a little easier because everything just works? A simple, well-chosen rug can do that. It's one of the most underrated ways to elevate your home without a full redesign. So whether you replace one, layer over one, or simply upgrade the size or placement, this small change can create a huge shift in how your space feels. And that shift, it's not just in the room, it's in you. 9. Too much wall color or accent walls. Fix: stick to soft, timeless colors that calm and expand the space. We all want our homes to feel personal, expressive, and full of life, but sometimes, too much color can do the opposite. Bright accent walls, overly bold paint choices, or deep, dark hues on every surface can make a room feel closed in, busy, or even overwhelming. It's a common trap. We see a trendy color on a home makeover show or in a magazine, and it looks exciting, so we go for it. But in reality, what looks beautiful in a staged setting doesn't always translate well into everyday life, especially in homes, where we want to feel calm, grounded, and comfortable. As we get older, the way we experience color also changes. Bold reds or heavy purples that once energized us can now feel overstimulating. Deep navy or charcoal might feel cozy at first, but in smaller spaces, they can start to feel heavy. Here's the fix: choose soft, timeless colors. that breathe. Soft neutrals like warm whites, gentle taupes, dusty greens, or barely there blues can completely transform your home without overpowering it. These tones reflect light beautifully, open up smaller rooms, and create a soothing atmosphere that naturally helps you relax. And no, this doesn't mean your home has to feel bland or boring. You can still add personality through artwork, furniture, or textiles. But when the walls provide a soft, understated backdrop, everything else in the room gets a chance to shine. If you love color but feel your space is starting to feel cramped or chaotic, consider toning it down, not removing it. A muted sage green instead of a bright lime. A creamy beige instead of a yellow. These shifts keep things interesting but elegant. Accent walls were popular for years. But here's the thing, they often chop up the room visually. If your goal is to make a space feel larger and more cohesive, a single bold wall can have the opposite effect. It divides the space instead of uniting it. Instead, paint all 4 walls in the same soft, comforting tone. The result? A room that feels more open, more intentional, and much more relaxing. Many of us have painted walls bold colors during high-energy seasons of life. Maybe you wanted to make a statement. Maybe you just wanted to change. And that's okay. But as our lifestyles shift and we seek more calm, clarity, and comfort, so should our surroundings. You don't need to repaint your entire house overnight. But even changing one room to a lighter, timeless color can make a noticeable difference. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about how that room makes you feel when you walk in. Calm, spacious, peaceful. That's the power of color. It's silent, but it speaks volumes. 10. Neglecting personal touches. Fix. Add curated, sentimental items, but less is more. A well-decorated home can look polished, stylish, and put together, but if it lacks personal touches, it can also feel cold, generic, like a hotel room that's technically perfect, but doesn't tell you anything about the person who lives there. And that's the final design mistake many people, especially older adults, fall into without even realizing it. Trying so hard to make things look right that they forget to make them feel like home. Here's the truth. The most beautiful homes aren't the ones filled with the latest trends. They're the ones that tell a story, your story. That doesn't mean you need to clutter every surface with memorabilia. In fact, the key is curation, not accumulation. But the next mistake is one almost everyone overlooks. Let's be honest, after a lifetime of collecting, we all have boxes of keepsakes, framed photos, old travel souvenirs, family heirlooms. But often, these treasures are packed away, hidden in closets or drawers, instead of being part of the home we live in every day. Or the opposite happens, we display everything at once. Every photo, every trophy, every birthday card from the past decade. Suddenly, what could have been a meaningful collection becomes visual noise. So what's the fix? Display less, but with purpose. 1. Choose 3 to 5 deeply meaningful items for each room. A framed black and white photo from your wedding. A small sculpture or vase that belonged to a parent. A handwritten recipe from your grandmother, beautifully framed. A book from your childhood on the coffee table. Let each piece breathe. Give it space to be seen and appreciated. This not only reduces clutter, it elevates the item. It makes it clear, this isn't just decoration. This is part of who I am. 2. Rotate items seasonally. Instead of displaying every family photo at once, try rotating them. Maybe in the spring, you show pictures from past vacations. In winter, photos of holiday memories. This keeps things fresh and gives you a chance to relive memories intentionally, without overwhelming your space. 3. Combine old and new. Pair a cherished vintage clock with a modern console table. Place an old handwritten letter in a sleek frame. This blending of eras tells a richer story and keeps your home feeling both current and deeply personal. Wait till you see how this $10 change transformed the room. Even something as simple as a shadow box or a floating frame from a discount store can completely change how a memory is experienced. Instead of keeping that special object in a drawer, display it in a beautiful way. That $10 investment, it transforms not just your wall, but how you feel when you pass by it. As we age, our connection to the past deepens. We want to feel rooted. We want to be reminded of the people, places, and moments that shaped us. But we also want our homes to feel peaceful and open, not like museums of clutter. By selectively showcasing your most meaningful items, you strike the perfect balance between style and soul. You create a space that not only looks beautiful, but feels like yours. It's not about how much you have. It's about how intentionally you live with it. And that, more than any paint color or furniture upgrade, is what makes a home truly timeless. I remember visiting my aunt's house after she passed. Every room overflowed with memories, photos, trinkets, gifts from decades past. It was full of love, but also full of stuff. That visit taught me something important. A peaceful home isn't about erasing the past. It's about choosing which memories deserve the spotlight. When we highlight the moments and items that truly matter, our space becomes calmer, more intentional, and still deeply personal. Less isn't empty. Less is clarity. And sometimes, peace lives in the space we make between the memories we keep. Here's a quick side-by-side. Same home, same walls, same furniture, but just a few thoughtful changes. And the entire energy shifts. Suddenly, the space feels calmer, brighter, and more open. It's not about spending a fortune or chasing trends. It's about making small, intentional choices that reflect who you are now. When your surroundings feel lighter, you feel lighter. And that feeling, that quiet sense of comfort and clarity, is what truly makes a house feel like home. Which design mistake surprised you the most? Or is there one I didn't mention that drives you crazy? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and your ideas might inspire the next video. If this helped you rethink even one corner of your home, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more simple ways to refresh, elevate, and fall back in love with your space, one small change at a time.